A section of Ventura Boulevard in Woodland Hills is on its way to becoming a safer and friendlier place for people who like to walk. Athena Bohm reports on what type of cosmetic surgery the boulevard will undergo. If you take a stroll between DeSoto and Canoga Avenue today, you'll more than likely find yourself alone. But that is all about to change. Representatives from every aspect of Woodland Hills met with business owners and residents to discuss changes that would attract pedestrians.
I'm talking about making it a pedestrian-friendly environment where people walk down the street, stop at the cafe, have the Starbucks with an entrance from the sidewalk where you can sit down there and watch the traffic go by like they do in Palm Springs and other parts.
Business owners want things like outdoor seating, more trees, and a way for their customers to be able to cross Ventura Boulevard safely. But by far their biggest concern is parking. They want meters to be fixed, rates lowered, and diagonal parking to be put into place.
Connecting the neighborhoods is really essential, that people can be able to walk safely in the neighborhoods. That would be a huge thing.
Keeping the boulevard clean of vandalism is one effort that is being made to keep the area safe. Outside of businesses, 24-hour surveillance cameras will be put into place, and a $1,000 reward is offered for anyone who helps catch someone graffitiing.
Fix things, put trees up, you make it non-inviting for the criminal element. They're not going to want to do their business here. So they know that the atmosphere is changing and that they're probably going to want to go somewhere else.
In the next few years, this section of Ventura Boulevard will be completely transformed. The goal is for pedestrian-friendly elements to grace the boulevard from Valley Circle to Lindley Avenue. Students and parents of Camanee Middle School and a nonprofit organization, Chrysalis, began to beautify this section of Ventura Boulevard by removing debris, weeds, and stickers like this. In Woodland Hills, Athena Bohm, Valley View News.
Coming up, President Obama urges Senate to pass the health bill, and highlights from the big games in the NFL when we return.
President Barack Obama is now putting pressure on the Senate to pass a landmark health bill that narrowly made it through the House of Representatives. The bill passed the House with only 2 votes to spare and with 39 Democrats opposing it. The White House is anticipating even more pushback from Republicans and conservative Democrats in the Senate. Critics of the bill are still concerned about cost and a government-run plan. Analysts say if Congress goes home for the holidays without passing the bill, it could be the setback that derails health care reform.
One local airport is combining air travel with flu vaccinations to try to protect people from the flu virus. Valley View's Sean Weissman has the story.
The area between check-in and the security line at the airport isn't usually thought of as a place to receive a flu shot. In fact, the airport is usually thought of as a busy place, where rushing is the normal pace. But people are slowing down at Bob Hope International Airport for a surprising reason: convenient healthcare. The Burbank Airport paired up with the on-site wellness organization to provide seasonal flu shots for the first time in the airport's history.
I think it's a really good idea to have this at the airport because people have a lot of downtime. And so little things that you could get done that time your usual schedule doesn't allow, you can get done in that hour and a half that you get to the airport early.
Travelers, employees, and airport officials agree that the airport's most recent service makes staying healthy easier. On-site wellness employee Joan Huff thinks the idea of offering flu shots inside the airport is a smart way to reduce the spread of illness.
It's the convenience of being able to get your flu shot when you have the time available.
Director of Public Affairs Victor Gill says the airport has done blood drives for a number of years, and that it was a natural progression to offer flu shots.
We were actually approached by the vaccination company earlier this summer, and they pointed out to us that a lot of airports around the country over the last year or so had begun doing vaccination programs. So we looked at it from that point of view, and we also looked at it mainly as a community outreach kind of activity.
The airport may work with on-site wellness again and make the flu vaccinations a more regular promotion. The airport might also offer H1N1 immunization shots later in the year if the vaccine is made available to them. In Burbank, I'm Sean Weissman for Valley View News.
And now here's Matt Johnson with the latest about the San Diego Chargers, the Los Angeles Lakers, plus more in sports. Matt?
Thanks, Joyce. The CSUN men's soccer team had a big match with the Cal State Fullerton Titans. The match was low scoring but filled with plenty of drama and was extremely physical. Valley View's own Adam Levin was there.
Homecoming at Matador Field. With a win, the men's soccer team controls their own destiny in the Big West playoff race. A loss to the rival Cal State Fullerton Titans, and they are on the outside, looking in. The Matadors and Titans were locked in a defensive struggle from the get-go. The game had a lot of great goaltending and defensive play, but was also extremely chippy, with 64 total penalties committed by both teams in the game. The stakes were high in this game for both teams, and the play on the field showed the importance of this match for both clubs and how hard they were willing to battle for a win. The physical game headed into a 10-minute sudden death overtime period. A little over 5 minutes left in the period, the Matadors scored a 2-assist goal to defeat Fullerton 1-0 and get the important victory. Matadors head coach Terry Davila explains what happened.
You see, with a great switch on the left side, Yuval found Renee found Cameron Sims back in the net, man, and it was a good way to go win it. And I wish we could have done it sooner, but I guess it's the way our season's been going. It's kind of dramatic.
The Matadors dominated the Titans in corner kicks with a 5-kick margin and had an 18-13 shots on goal advantage. After the hard-fought 1-0 victory in overtime for the Matadors, they find themselves in control of their own destiny. At 9-7 overall and 4-3-1 in Big West play, the club has a chance to make the playoffs for the first time since 2005. Adam Levin, Valley View News.
The San Diego Chargers here taking on the slumping New York Giants in the Meadowlands. We start this one here late in the fourth quarter. Phillip Rivers doesn't have much time, but he finds speedster Darren Sproles through the middle for the nice pickup, but tick, 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 the clock is ticking. Phillip Rivers here has to line up with 29 seconds left, and then he finds his favorite target, Vincent Jackson, wide open for the score. Those two are just so clutch. You wouldn't believe the Giants started off 5-0, but they've now lost 4 straight. The Tennessee Titans went out west to battle the San Francisco 49ers in a matchup between two second-chance quarterbacks. Here we go on 3rd and 5. Vince Young scrambles right up the middle for the QB draw. Don't think they ran that play for Kerry Collins very often. But Alex Smith here right before halftime scrambles to the edge and finds Jason Hill eventually for the touchdown right before the score. Midway through the fourth on 4th down, Chris Johnson with a pitch to the outside and somehow gets in for the score for his second TD of the game. Risky call by Jeff Fisher here. Alex Smith knows how to take risks himself, but this one pays off for the other team as Cortland Finnegan runs it back all the way for the score, putting the Titans up for good, 34-27. It was a long day for that guy, Alex Smith. The New Orleans Saints faced rival Carolina at home with an undefeated record on the line. If you haven't heard of the Saints' high-octane offense, check this out. Robert Meacham with the razzle-dazzle right before capping off a 54-yard touchdown right before the fourth quarter. Late in the fourth, Panthers are down 3 and they need a big break, but they get some bad luck as Anthony Hargrove scoops up the fumble, putting the Saints up for good. They win 30-20. Injuries, what injuries? The Lakers' starting front court has been sidelined, but the Lake Show keeps on rolling. But really, who needs anyone else when you've got Kobe Bryant? He scored 28 points against the Hornets, and he's just been unconscious this season. The Lakers win their 5th straight in blowout fashion, 108-88. And the surging Los Angeles Clippers hosted the Memphis Grizzlies, looking for their 3rd straight W. Rudy Gay goes baseline for the disgusting tomahawk jam right over Al Thornton's head. But eventually, Rasul Butler goes down gets open for the clutch 3, putting the Clippers up for good, and the Clippers go on to win their 3rd straight, 113-110. That's all for sports now. Back to Kristen.